welcome back to the Shuffle Squad. I'm here with my pal and owner of the Shuffle Squad, PJ. We're back with some more tabletop gameplay. I'm going to be running the Sylveon EX deck against PJ today. He's going to be rocking Charizard EX, one of the staples in format. Yeah, exactly. We've got to get the rock on there. So
right.
he's actually added a couple cards into his deck from Surging Sparks. Sylveon EX is brand new. I'm playing it with the Lost Zone engine, so that's going to be an interesting matchup. PJ, before we jump into it, do you have any early predictions? Do you think Sylveon's going to take down Charizard? Is Sylveon whack?
Yeah.
Let me know.
I mean, as far as it goes, I know that obviously all the new Terra type Pokemon are requiring multiple different kinds of energy. So I'm interested to see how the Lost Zone engine is going to be incorporated with a deck like Sylveon. Sylveon has also been one of those cards where we saw in the G era, it was really good and game changing. And then we saw it in the Tag Team GX era where it was paired with Gardevoir in the tag team card, and that was also super annoying. It had its own deck, and this card also seems to be one of those annoying cards because it can remove Pokemon from your board or from your opponent's board, really. And I think that having Charizard be such a powerhouse and being such a setup deck, come from behind deck in a lot of cases where it's got a lot of comeback elements, it's going to be interesting to see if Sylveon EX is one of those other big two prize Pokemon that can do annoying things to your opponent's board, kind of control style, play style in the deck. I'm really going to be looking forward to see how Sylveon is going to be played, especially in this format.
Yeah, same here. So if anyone here is looking for our deck lists are available in the description. You can copy and paste those right into any of the non-PTCGL apps because it's not out on PTCG Live. But pick up some cards from Kayfabe if you need anything for these decks or when these cards are coming out, and hit that like button, jump into this gameplay, see exactly if PJ is going to lose this set. So before we battle everything out, I do want to quickly kind of go over the decks that we're playing. I'm going to be playing a Sylveon EX deck with the Lost Zone engine. So I'm going to be playing Comfey, getting cards from the Lost Zone. And that's because since this is one of those Terra Pokemon that has all the different requirements for the attacks, I am going to utilize Mirage Gates. So I was like, how do we power up the Sylveon? Mirage Gate, being able to search out all those different energies, sounds really cool. Sylveon EX, I'm playing against a Charizard EX that you might see on PJ's screen. My Angelite ability, I'm going to try to shuffle back some Charizards and Pidgeot in the mid to late game. Otherwise, I'm just going to use my Pokemon like Radiant Greninja and Cramorant and Sableye to go after PJ's little Pokemon before I can get to that big play. What about you, PJ? Anything special with your Charizard deck?
Yeah, I mean, I'm obviously playing a pretty stock Charizard EX list, so nothing crazy over here on my side, but what we do have included in the list now is some new tech cards. So obviously I do want to set up a really wide bench, make sure that I get my basic Pokemon out. So I do have the Precious Carrier A-Spec now, so it's a newer A-Spec that I can get any number of basic Pokemon. We want to be able to find those, and it doesn't matter if they're EX or Vs or anything like that, and obviously Charizard does play quite a few of those, but we want to fill up that bench so that way Zach Sylveon won't get what it needs as fast as it needs it. So the Angel Light is pretty scary, but I do also have Terra Orb, so now I can find Terra Pokemon like Charizard, similar to how we saw the inclusion of Featherball to get Pidgeot EX out of the deck at one point with Charizard builds, but now we can get our Charizard without having to use things like Ultra Ball. That way I can just find a Charizard real easy, pop it down, and do some massive damage here over on Zach's side. So as far as that goes, I think those are the only two cards. Everything else is pretty straightforward with the Charizard list. I'm going to shuffle up here and see if this deck is going to perform like every other Charizard list. Either you have a really great setup and you body your opponent, or you can't find the cards and you're just struggling to get set up here.
Also, definitely not coincidental, I did go with the Sylveon Gardevoir playmat with Sylveon on it from, I think it's like 2019. So we're getting kind of vintage. Pulled this one out of basically my wife's reserves of playmats because I'm not as sentimental as she is. Do you want to call heads or tails?
I'll go with heads today. We're gonna try that.
Heads, and you got it.
It is, and this is still a go first meta, I think, with Surging Sparks. So I'm still gonna choose to go first here.
That's okay. Then I will auto default go second in that case. I don't have any basic Pokemon.
Gotcha. And I do have one basic Pokemon, so I'm gonna put that out here, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'll mark my mulligan with my fancy little tin. I don't know if you saw this on our last couple of videos. We've got the tin insert here, and eventually you'll be able to buy those on the shufflesquad.com. We're going to start to have those
Oh, that's
for sale
cool.
pretty soon. Alongside of our ability markers here, which is nice. We've got lots of cool stuff coming out on the website for sure.
I love that we're playing the exact same sleeves again.
They're good sleeves, okay?
Someone was actually, they were asking us about it, where I was like, okay, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
This hand's really not great. So sometimes I think like we're gonna run into situations where maybe these decks aren't good, or maybe they just don't set up. All right, let's let it flip.
And it's not the best starter, but I do have Duskull here. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and draw for turn. I did draw my mulligan. I do have a Charmander here, and I think the play is, and I actually have Precious Carrier
Stop.
in hand. So I'm going to play the Precious Carrier, search for any number of basic Pokemon, and I'm just going to do a quick search. Rotom, obviously very good here. We're gonna get another Charmander, probably a Pidgey. So currently we're sitting with 4 bench Pokemon, and honestly, I wouldn't hate getting maybe a second Duskull into play, so I can just annihilate Zach's board state here. So I think that's exactly what we're gonna do. It looks like we did prize our 3rd Charmander, so that's pretty good. We're going to put the Rotom V down and then just set up another Duskull here. So we can also manipulate our damage output when we're popping these Duskulls, either evolving into a Dust Noir, which is the most common, or maybe even a Dusclops for that extra 50 push on there. So I'm just going to shuffle it up here with Precious Carrier, and Zach is potentially playing some Lost Vacuums over in that list just to get the Lost Zone a little bit bigger. So I don't know if I need my Forest Seal Stone just yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to instant charge here and draw 3 cards to end my turn.
Yeah, I'll pick up for my turn. So before I do anything, Eevee has its boosted evolution. So as long as this card's in your active spot, you can evolve it during your first turn or the turn that you play it. So we're getting to the main theme of the video. We got Sylveon up here. Not that it really helps me though. I'm gonna go Nest Ball, and basically I'm gonna go Comfey and Prey. I feel like I'm kind of I didn't get a chance to fully watch everything about the finals of Louisville Regionals, but it seemed like Michael Davidson was having some struggles setting up, and I could see that Lost Zone box. As a player that played Lost Zone box pretty much almost every tournament last season for locals, sometimes this deck just hates you.
Right. Yeah, sometimes you just don't find the things. That's why there's a phrase that I've seen quite a few people use, that friends don't let friends select flowers at a regional event. So sometimes the deck draws insanely hot, and obviously the output of a Lost Zone box deck is crazily powerful, but I feel like you just it's hit or miss. There's a lot of variance in the game of Pokemon TCG, and it just seems like that has a lot of it. So
we're gonna switch and use Comfey.
You know what, one thing, Zach, I didn't realize is that the ability of Eevee, I didn't realize how good that was. Boosted evolution is broken.
I mean, it's broken if I could do something there. So I'm gonna go, I think we can see my Lost Zone here. Yeah, we can.
Yeah,
okay, sweet. I'm gonna go Latias EX. I think it might be cool in this deck. Your basic Pokemon have no retreat cost, so I'm gonna retreat into the Latias, and I'm hoping that allows me to maybe buff a hit or something else like that. And I'm gonna pass because I didn't get much.
Gotcha. All right, so what we're gonna do here is I'm just gonna go ahead and for those who don't know, Latias allows basic Pokemon on both sides to have free retreat, which is pretty good.
It does not. It says my basic Pokemon have no retreats.
Oh, is it only yours? I could have sworn it was.
So I actually have the full English Pokemon,
Uh-huh.
or at least the full English cards. So
Oh,
I've actually been able to.
say. Oh, cool. Yeah, so your basic Pokemon. You're right. I did read that. It just said basic at first, but you know, reading is part of the card game here. So
It's one of those things. Whenever those cards are like brand new, I'm always like I'm misreading them, and this is why we're trying to get some of the kinks out of the system.
Right, right. So I think what I'm gonna do here first is I'm gonna go ahead and I think just use an Arven, because Arven's gonna be pretty good here for me. I think we're gonna get a rare candy to start things off, and let's see, rare candy can go ahead and get me. I can get a tool card too with Arven, so we're gonna look to see if there are any tool cards that we really need or any that are in the deck right now. So we're just gonna go with rare candy, and I'm probably gonna go back in here. The next thing I want to do is start to just find my pieces. I think I am gonna use an Ultra Ball next. An Ultra Ball is gonna discard a Nest Ball because obviously our bench is full. We don't need that just yet. I'm gonna go and get rid of Fire Energy, and we'll go into the deck. I'm gonna find my Pidgeot. Then we'll rare candy the Pidgey into a Pidgeot. Start to get set up here.
Charizard's looking pretty good right now.
Looking pretty good. Let's see. We'll Forest Seal Stone the Rotom. And I think the first thing I'll do is just quick search. And we might actually see both of the new cards be played here. I'm just checking for a few things. See, that's gonna be a little tough. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to quick search. I'll put this in my hand. I'm going to actually just hold off for a turn here, and instead of attacking, I'll allow Zach to build his board just a little bit, but that's not because I feel bad, because Zach is kind of dead drawing, but it's just because I feel like Charizard wants to be that comeback deck, and I kind of need Zach to start taking some prizes before I do anything crazy. Don't have a whole lot of resources left over in the deck either, so that's kind of where my head's at. So I'm gonna evolve into the Charmeleon here. I'm gonna put down another I'm going to evolve into a Dusclops on the bench on my Duskull. And then what I'll do is I'm actually just going to instant charge to draw 3 more cards and then end my turn here.
Alright. I'm going to retreat into Comfey, because all my Pokemon have no retreat costs, basics. Look at the top 2. Jeez, this is tough. I am getting nothing here. I mean, I could start powering up Sylveon, maybe. I can maybe put you in a tough spot, but you already have a Pokemon you probably don't want to see in your active. I've already retreated, so I'm going to switch back into Latias as my out here to maybe do whatever I want, and I'm going to pass my turn again, so I mean, between my top deck plus my Comfey for 2, next turn, top deck plus Comfey for 2. This is one of those games of all time.
Exactly. So, okay. So here's what I'm going to do next. I'm just going to draw for turn, use quick search, go in, and quick search is going to get me, I think, one of these here. I'm just taking a look because I'm definitely going back in after the fact here. I'm gonna rare candy my active Duskull into a Dusknoir.
Yep.
And then I think we're gonna use Terra Orb Now Terra Orb's going to be able to get me a Terra Pokemon, which Charizard is a Terra type.
You didn't use your V-Star last turn, right?
I did not use my... yeah, I haven't used my V-Star yet.
Okay.
So we're just going to Terra Orb the Charizard and then use Infernal Rain. I'm actually just going to put one energy onto that Charizard here and then shuffle up the deck. And I'm just shuffling here. Make sure the shuffle is good because this time we're not going back in.
Yep.
We don't have to, at least. We've already used the quick search here. I'm going to manually attach. And then I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to Curse Blast. I'm going to knock out this Dusknoir and put the 13 damage counters on your Comfey.
Yep.
Let's see.
Sweet. I did a prize card.
You get to take a prize card. I get to take a prize card. That's pretty good. Then I'll promote my Charizard here. And then I'm going to Curse Blast. And I'm going to... Let's see. I'm going to put the 5 damage counters on your Latias, actually.
Why is that?
So I'll show you why in a second here. So we'll knock myself out. Zach gets to take a prize card. We're going to put the 5 damage counters on the Latias.
I think you're cooking too hard here, PJ.
So Zach gets to take a prize, right? I will counter catcher his Sylveon EX because now I am behind in prize cards. I'll attach a Defiance Band, and because Zach has taken 2 prize cards, my base damage output is going to be 240 with Charizard, and because I'm also behind in prizes, Defiance Band is going to give me an extra 30. So I'm going to swing for 270 into your Sylveon EX and take a 2 prize knockout.
Okay, well, you gave me Chorus off the prize card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put those there, so that's bringing me to 4. Free retreat into Comfey. Using my ability, 5 Nest Ball Search. My deck for Comfey.
There we go.
Switch cart. Comfey. Look at the top 2. I mean, I'm gonna put away that.
No more Iron Hands.
And then that's 6, so still not enough. I'm going to pass my turn, PJ, to you.
You got it. All right, I'll go ahead. Let me flip this. Make sure that they're all in the right angle here. All right, so I think what we're gonna have to do next is I'm going to go ahead and I'll just quick search here. Quick search is gonna go in, and I think the next step for me is to just use the Super Rod here, and Super Rod's going to be able to put a Duskull, a Dusknoir, and that Fire Energy that I discarded earlier in the game. We're going to put it right back into the deck and shuffle things up here. And then, let's see, do I want to use a supporter card this turn or just kind of sit on things? And I think that's kind of the point where I'm at. So I am going to bench a Charmander here. And then... I don't think I need anything just yet. So I'm just going to make sure that I got a good shuffle things up. And then I will just Burning Darkness, your active Comfey, for a knockout here, just to pick up the pace of the game.
Gonna Super Rod back in Eevee Psychic. I'm going to Artisan, using Artisan,
Mm-hmm.
getting out Eevee. I'm going to utilize Comfey.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2.
Collect some flowers. Now our loss zone count, Zach. What are you at?
I'm at
Right
7 now, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go for Mirage Gate. Searching for, because now I have 7. Psychic, Water, Mirage Gate again.
Mm-hmm.
Searching for Lightning. I think I probably end up losing this game still, but that's okay. I'm gonna go Boss's Orders. Boss's Orders, bring up your Rotom.
Sure.
Free Retreat into Eevee. Boosted Evolution into Sylveon. And I'm gonna shuffle back in your Charizard and your Pidgeot since they're both on your bench.
I was gonna say they shuffle all cards. Is that what it says?
All cards onto your yeah. Choose
and all attached cards.
Choose 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So that's why I played the boss order, to bring the Charizard to the bench.
Got it. Gotcha. Okay, cool.
So
we got 2 Charmanders and a Rotom left here.
It would have been really nice, like maybe if I could have played that Iono with it, but then also I couldn't have shuffled back the Charizard. Like, there's definitely like the deck's not perfect, right? Like, it's one of those things where it's like we out here trying though. I mean, we did get the Sylveon off, so I'm okay at least if I got the strategy off.
That's right. All right, cool. So no damage on my board, no prizes taken by Zach, but our board is pretty bare bones at this point. So I'll just go ahead and I'll draw a card, and let's see here. I think that I am gonna go ahead and just play an Arven and take a look at what's inside the deck here, because I know that we've used at least 2 rare candies at this point. So there is a rare candy. And now I have to check my energies because they are pretty low in this deck. So there's 1 energy, 2 energies, and then the 3rd. So I think what I'm going to do here is I will just get a rare candy, and just for giggles, I'll get the Defiance Band because I can. And then I will finally flip my V-Star on Rotom, and that's going to get me the Charizard here.
Yep.
And obviously that's, I'm not sure why I'm shuffling, but we're going to evolve into the Charizard, put 1 energy on Rotom, and then 2 back here. And again, I'm only swinging for the 240, which is kind of tough because I do need a boss's orders, and that's kind of my. But at least right now we're doing some damage, so that's pretty good. I think before I end my turn, what I'm actually gonna do is I'm going to use Buddy Poffin, and I'm just going to keep my cards straight here. So we've got this here, we got that there, Buddy Poffin. I'm going to get myself a Duskull, and I'm going to get myself, let's see if there's anything else in here. Yeah, another Charmander. We've got a Pidgey that could do some things. Do that, and then I'll also go ahead and use a Nest Ball. I think what Nest Ball is going to get me here is this Radiant Charizard. We'll put that on the bench here just in case there is a late game scenario. Zach starts to put some of my Pokemon back in my deck. I want to be able to have a full board state where I can do something because I'm seeing Zach's game plan now is just to disrupt me enough to kind of get back into the game. I will go ahead and retreat the Rotom V here, and we've used the Forest Seal Stone. Everything's good there. I'll go ahead and just attach the Defiance Band, and I think I'm just going to swing for 240 into Zach at this point.
Okay. Pick up for my turn. Okay. So in order for me to do anything, I need to hope that A, you don't have boss's orders in your hands.
Right. And I did notice the last line of text in there that if you use Angel Light during your last turn, this attack can't be used again unless you switch. But there's obviously a lot of switching cards in that deck.
It says if one of your Pokemon use Angelites, so I can't use it again.
Oh, you can't use it at all. Wow. Okay.
Okay, let's go for, let's go Horus. 1,
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5. I'll keep this, this, and this. Brings me to 9. I'm gonna go Prime Catcher, bring up your... How many cards do you have in your hands?
I currently have 5 cards in hand.
And how many fire energies do you have in your discard pile?
Right now, I only have the 1 in the discard.
I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. I'll bring up Iridian Charizard.
Sure.
And let's say Comfey here. Using Comfey, flower selecting, looking at the top 2. I can retreat for free with Latias. Flower selecting, looking at the top 2. That does not get me what I want. Okay. So if I just go ahead and go Cramorant, switch card into Cramorant, I can hit you for 110.
Got it.
Because no weakness.
Right. Alright, so I will draw for turn. And let's see here. So all basic Pokemon don't have Tree on Zach's side, so that's going to be a little annoying. I think what I'm going to have to do here is I am just going to have to instant charge, unfortunately.
Okay, in that case, I'm going to pick up for my turn. I'm going to go Artisan. I'm going to fail that search. I've played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of my switching outs. So I don't think this is a game where I'm able to or that I'm able to... Sorry, I don't think this is a game where I'm able to like Roxanne you and then get you. I mean, maybe I can do that, but I can't get the 2 cards necessary that I want. So I'm going to Taurus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I definitely want this. I don't want this, and I don't want this. I'm gonna play Heavy Ball.
Sure.
Yeah, I made a really good choice having a few of those. And I'm just going to put the heavy ball back, replacing it with a Sableye.
Got it.
And I'm at 13 now.
Mm-hmm.
So, in order for me to kind of jump back into this game, I think I need to go Cramorant, sending up my Sylveon, pre-retreating it, and then I'm going to go ahead and use Angelite, since I didn't use Angelite during my last turn. I'm going to shuffle your Zard on the bench back, and since I think it's a potential win con, I'm going to shuffle back your Duskull, because this only has 30 HP.
You got it. Okay, now Radzard's chilling in the active spot here. Okay. I'll go ahead and draw for turn. Nobody got knocked out last turn either, so that's pretty good. You've taken 2 prize cards. 1 energy there. So I think what I'm going to have to do now is I'm going to have to use an Arven. And Arven's going to get me this Ultra Ball. And just this Defiance Band here. Just going to take a look at what's inside the deck at this point.
Sounds good.
Alright, so we're going to take the Ultra Ball to the Defiance Band. I'm thinking Buddy Poffin is the choice here. We're going to do a Charmander and probably, well, I want to avoid a double Sableye knockout here, I think. That's kind of the play I'm going for. So I'm going to put down double Charmander. I'm going to probably go back into the deck here, where I'm going to get rid of a Nest Ball. I don't think there's a world where we have to Briar right away. So I think I'm going to get rid of Briar and Nest Ball and go in for Ultra Ball. And Ultra Ball is just going to get me the Charmeleon here with Flare Veil, so I can prevent the damage from a Sableye coming down and just taking out this this Charmander here.
Sure.
And then I think that the next step for me is actually going to be I'm just gonna instant charge to end my turn here.
Okay. Well, I can almost guarantee that I lose the game if I don't do anything here, so... I think basically what I need to do is I need to go retreat the Psychic and the Water from the Sylveon, because it does not have to retreat into Comfey Flower Select. Super Rod. Back in the Psychic and the Water energies. So the Charmeleons prevent all effective attacks, right?
Prevent all effects of attacks by your opponent's Pokemon done to this Pokemon.
I'm gonna go Radiant
So not
Greninja.
Damage, but yes. Yeah,
Radiant Greninja is gonna go down, and I'm gonna go Mirage Gate.
Yep.
Getting this and this.
Sure.
And I'm gonna go for Roxanne.
Sure. We're gonna shuffle in and draw 2 on my side. Zach gets to draw 6 cards. Hopefully Zach finds a switch out over there.
So the issue for me is that I actually found the Roxanne and my last switch out, so I'm unfortunately going to have to pass here.
You got it. So I'll draw my 2 off of Roxanne. Okay, so I'll draw for turn. And I think we're going to be a little stuck here. I am gonna go ahead and just instant charge and draw 3 to end the turn here.
Going to pick up for my turn. Retreat, Comfey, not using Flower Select because I'm down to very few cards left in my deck.
Gotcha.
And then when it comes down to, I'm still behind on prize cards. So in order for me to see success this game, I've played 1 Super Rod, 2 Super Rods, 3 Super Rods. So I have my Super Rod prized, and I'm honestly not sure what is best here. So I'm gonna counter catcher up your Rotom V because I don't want you to potentially have an attack. And just like so, I'm like my Radiant Greninja can knock out your Charmeleon, right?
Charmeleon, yes. It doesn't prevent damage, just effects.
Okay, so I'm gonna discard these 2.
Sure.
And I'm gonna knock out Charmeleon, and I'm gonna knock out Radiant Charizard.
Got it. Okay, so that means that we're in a tricky spot here. So I'm gonna draw for turn. And I think what I'm going to have to do here is just go through the deck, take a look at my discard pile. There's a Super Rod there. I think we're going to have to do some counterplay for sure. So the first thing I want to do is play down this Lumineon V and then use Luminescine, go take a look throughout the deck. Make sure I got some resources. I definitely have some resources, but are they the resources I want? That's a good question. I can play it one of 2 different ways. So I think what I want to do is I actually want to go for an Iono here. And
Okay.
I will be using that too in just a second.
Okay, I'll start shuffling.
Shuffle up the deck. I'm going to shuffle up the hand too. Well, Iono down to the 2 cards on both sides. Okay, so we're getting some pieces. And then I think I'm just going to instant charge to end my turn here. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, we got some more pieces, but we'll see if Zach can recover here.
I'm gonna use. I can't use Artisan because my deck is full. I'm gonna use Mirage Gate.
Yep.
And you're sorry. So you went Iona. So you're at 5 cards now.
I have 5 cards.
Okay, I just wanted a double checking here. I'm gonna put one on the Latias. I thought I had game there, but I was I miscounted how many psychics I had left.
Gotcha.
My deck, unfortunately, is the psychic. That's okay. I mean, I do want to kind of put you on the spot. So if I go retreat into Cramorant, I can hit you for 110. And I'm going to force you to retreat.
Perfect. All right, so I'm gonna draw for turn here. Zach only has 2 prize cards left. So that's where we get a little tricky, is that I needed a Charizard in the discard pile here.
Oh, did you get Night Stretcher?
I did get Night Stretcher.
That's unfortunate. Yeah, I have not been knocking those guys out. I've been putting them back into your deck. So shout out Angelite.
Yeah, right. Lost Zone, you're currently at 13, right? That's
14, but
14, gotcha. Huh.
Anything after 10 does not matter.
Yeah. So I think we might actually have to Night Stretcher here. Even though I'm pretty sure Zach has game. I'll Night Stretcher to do the retreat. And then we're just going to bring up the Charmander. I think the next step for me is to just instant charge to draw 3 more cards.
Okay, let's pick up for my turn. I don't think I have game for what it's worth. I think because I only have 5 Pokemon on my bench, so...
Oh yeah, you're bench locked, which is actually detrimental to having you play the rest of this game, so...
Because essentially, if I let you use Rotom every single turn, I lose the game.
Right.
So I think for me, what I have to do is I'm going to attack you with... I mean, I don't think there's anything else that I can do that's better. I can't find another energy. I've played 1 Colress, 1 Iono, 2 Colress, 3 Colress, 4 Colress. So I have no other supporters I could draw to the deck. Yeah, I have to go Spin Innocently and hope that I don't lose here.
Gotcha.
Which puts me down to 1 prize card.
Okay. Alright, so we're going to go in with a Charmander. And, of course, we top deck the magic here. I'm going to go ahead and just put in this fire energy into the deck, and we'll do one of these where I Ultra Ball away a Turo and a Buddy Poffin. Take a look inside the deck. Obviously, there is a Charizard there. I'm going to get that Charizard with Ultra Ball. I'll go ahead and Rare Candy the active Charizard, do Infernal Rain these 2 energies onto it, and then I will just Boss's Orders to Sylveon for game.
Yeah, for sure. So,
I was in a tough spot because the Boss's Orders was right on top, and that's where I hadn't really utilized a lot of Gusting in that game, and I kind of wanted to just sit on it. I had a Counter Catcher still in deck, and then the second Boss's Orders was also in there. So I was just trying to stretch and find that. Having 2 energy prized that entire game was also really bad. So I mean, obviously Sylveon wasn't able to take the win, but it was definitely an annoying game to play. I will say that.
Yeah, and I think PJ will keep it at the 1 game because I feel like this fully explained what the deck can do on both sides. But yeah, I think for me, my tough part was I think that was my prize cards. With the single Colress doesn't matter that I had in there.
Right.
But those aren't necessarily the greatest Lost Zone prize cards. I think with a slower start.
Right.
The thing that's scary is I can take away turns from your game. So I think what I would have done, I would have gone more aggressive earlier on. That Latias actually ended up being almost MVP just due to the amount of switch cards that I had to use early and burn early because of my poor setup. So I think if you took this out instead of the Sylveon, you would have been in a much better spot because the Sylveon, as we saw, I was able to auto-populate it basically in the middle of the game back from nowhere. So Angelite, cool attack. Don't know if Lost Zone Box is necessarily the best use case of it. I've seen some Gardevoir decks. We've seen some other ways to play this deck, right?
Yeah.
But it is a cool tech. I think it actually might be better as a 1/1 tech, to be honest, instead of going with a 2/2. just because I felt like the times when I used it, it was cool, but it's not something I'd use every single game.
Yeah.
So overall, I thought it was a cool battle, but Charizard's just really good, and that Precious Carrier, that turn 1 was beautiful.
It was great.
Well, we have some closing thoughts, so we'll get to those in a second. But if you haven't already, check out the description for both of the copies of our deck list, and give this video a like, share it with your friends, and double check to see if you subscribe to the channel or not. Let's get to those closing thoughts. Well, PJ comes in clutch on that top deck boss to beat the Sylveon deck. It was an interesting game. Honestly, I think that Lost Zone Box did some Lost Zone Box things at the beginning, and then it also did some Lost Zone Box things where it comes back as well. What are your thoughts on the matchup, PJ?
Yeah, I mean, you did put me in a tight spot. I think that not having a Sableye down was also the reason that I won that game. But you were also struggling to just get your deck to function in a lot of turns. So I think that obviously trying to use Latias, which was MVP, I think, in those turns, was really where I did not give credit to the deck on how it was going to be built. Putting my Charizard and Pidgeot back into the deck that one turn, that was wild, and it's also really hard to come back from. You really have to know what's inside your deck. So if you've never played Charizard before, or you haven't played it a lot, you do have to be resource conscious when you're playing the deck to see what is inside, what's in your prize cards. You really have to know your deck inside and out. I was able to clutch it up by just keeping my resources for Gust inside the deck, and obviously we saw that at the ending turn with the boss top deck. Having all the pieces, Rotom for me was MVP just to draw cards and instant charge. Wasn't able to get a Fez out on the turns that I needed, but Charizard is such a powerful deck, and we saw that here in this matchup. But Sylveon definitely did the thing that I thought it was going to be doing, which was be annoying and just stop me from setting up my board state.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those cases where Sylveon might just need to cook a little bit more. Maybe Lost Zone Box isn't the best engine for it. Maybe there's another way to be playing it. These Terra type Pokemon are really interesting with these triple energy retreat, or the triple energy attack costs. So I want to see how those continue to grow as a format. Maybe next set we get a little bit more support for it, maybe not, but it did have some cool control elements, and I think that that's kind of like where my brain is at the card. So while I'm probably not going to be bringing it to Sacramento Regionals, I might bring it to another tournament in the future. That being said, give this video a like, share, subscribe, and we will... You can see that I'm on dad duty now, so it's one of those things where we'll be back with more content soon. Take it easy, y'all.
See you later.
Want to support the Shuffle Squad? Be sure to check out all of our sponsors in the description to pick up Pokemon TCG singles, sealed, and PTCG live codes. You made it to the end. Thank you so much for watching this entire video from the Shuffle Squad. Honestly, from the bottom of our hearts, we appreciate each and every person that supports our content, watches what we have going on every single day, every single week, even from time to time, and continuously allows us to have a forum to project our creative content towards the Pokemon TCG community. So if you haven't already, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and even leave a comment to help boost the YouTube algorithm. That being said, we'll catch you with our next video. Thanks again. Take it easy.